Hey folks, Tony Fortunato from the technology firm. Let's baseline another tool, a tool that I'm creating. So it's a PowerShell script I wrote. It'll measure response time for DNS requests. And this is the same old point I keep making with all of my videos. It doesn't matter what the tool reports as far as the value goes. You should always validate that, find out how close it is to the packet time, and then just deal with it, because they'll never be the same, but it's nice to know what the difference is. So in this case, I've got this PowerShell script that I wrote, and it's basically going to go off, in this case, to facebook.com. I'm going to use DNS server 1.1.1.1, and I put all the stuff in here, and then basically from that PowerShell script, I wrote a Windows batch file because I wanted a little bit more control. In this case, I just want to loop it, but you might want to do some more stuff with it. At the end of the test, they will actually write the results to a text file, which you can use for reporting or whatever you want. So there you go. From that, I ran my script, and for the first time it ran, it said, I'm going to do 100 DNS requests, because that's what I put in the script, and it's going to calculate the average response time. So in this case, it said the average response time was good. It was underneath my threshold, and it was 9.5 milliseconds. The question is, how close was that when we were on the wire? Great little exercise to get familiar with Wireshark and go through a couple of things. So let's go through the trace. So I ran a trace while I did this test equals these packets. So I'm going to bring that up. There it is. I don't know why it got a little reformatted there. Give me one moment, folks. There you go. So you can see it says 200 packets. We have a 100 requests, 100 replies, and that's all of them. So that's awesome. So I have the exact correlation between what my script reported and what is on the wire. So what's the easiest way to figure out the response time? Well, one of the easiest ways is to go to statistics and DNS, and there's a report right here. Now, if you want to look at that number, it says request response time in milliseconds under service stats, 4.36 millisecond average. Now, if you want to take it the next step, which I will, how accurate is that? How did Wireshark calculate that? Did it add them all up? If it did, we should be able to replicate that exact same number. So let's give it a try. Close that off. I want to add another column here with the response time. So the easiest way to do that, view, packet details. I'm going to pick a response, any response, it really doesn't matter. And if you scroll down, you'll see the very last value here says time, and there's a value right there. Right click. I'm going to add that, apply as a column. Click, and there it is. There they all are. So every single response time, let me just go to that, view, packet details off, and you can see there they all are, right? All 100 of them, okay? Because it will only be with the response, not with the request, obviously. So from that, we'll go to File, Export Packet Dissections as a CSV, dump that out as a file, and we'll open it up in Excel. There it is. So obviously you don't need to do this in real world, but you know what? I want to make sure Wireshark's telling me the right thing. There's all my values, right? Just like you saw. All I did was go to the bottom and type what's the average of all these values. 4.357 milliseconds, or you want to round up, 4.36. And what did Wireshark report? 4.36. Awesome. So now I know that is how it's being calculated, and it's 100% the way I would have calculated it. Awesome. And now back to our actual script. What did it report? 9.5. See that? So again, the application has a few extra steps and layers to go through rather than looking at the raw packet level. So now we know that 9.5 milliseconds in the actual script is not real world. But again, if that's all we ever used was my script, 9.5 is a good baseline to have. If you want to use the wire response time, which you see in the packets, obviously you'd have to do it another way. I want to make that real quick and real simple for everybody, and I strongly encourage you to do that with anything that you use every day, just to make sure it's being reported the way you think it is and calculated the way you think it is. That's it, folks. Have a good day. Bye for now.